Hello and welcome into the Fantasy Football Fanatics podcast. My name is JP, joined as always by Elijah here. And how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this mock draft and excited to get things going. Yeah. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I've had a silly idea lately. I know some people have pets as pigs, but I've really been thinking, I think I really want a pet as a pig. What do you think about that?
A pig as a pet? I personally probably don't want a pig as a pet.
The only thing that stinks is like their squeals. So if you try to like train it to walk and it doesn't want to listen, then it's gonna do that murder squeal, where it just sounds like it's dying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but I think.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, we're starting right now. So Elijah here is drafting at spot number
2. I'm gonna be thinking about definitely a running back over wide receiver because running backs are usually not as deep as wide receivers are. So right away, I'm thinking since of course Christian McCaffrey was taken, I'm probably gonna go for Saquon, hoping he gets a rebound year. And yeah, there we go.
And I just turned off my sound. At the top right corner on ESPN, I know it has the sound button, just so I know it makes a lot of noise. But all right, we got Christian McCaffrey number 1, Barkley number 2. I mean, if you liked Zeke more, maybe if it was a standard league, you'd consider him more. But yeah, I think Saquon is going to be the number 2 running back taken off the board in most scenarios here.
Yeah, and JP, you want to tell them who we're mock drafting with while I go open the door for something?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just got together our followers here on Instagram, and I just asked who wants to join a mock draft, and sure enough, we had people who wanted to join. And what's nice is we're gonna have hopefully all slots taken by people who are committed to their pick and not going to be mock drafters. So that's the big plus to this, really. And I am actually already on the clock. Alvin Kamara went number 3, Zeke went number 4, Michael Thomas number 5, and Dalvin Cook number 6. And yeah, I'm on for pick number 7 now. And man, all the running backs that I love are already gone, so I'm already in a tough position here. I could go Devonta Adams. Who's my number 1 receiver, or I could go Derrick Henry. And I am really leaning towards going running back in most drafts in the first round. Even though I don't like Derrick Henry quite as much as those guys that were taken, I want to go running back in the first round over wide receiver because I think the wide receiver position is so deep in fantasy football this year.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean that's why I said at the beginning. It's just wide receiver is going to be deeper than running back. But I think now we should talk about the other picks that were done. I mean, I think they're pretty standard. Like from first round, you're not really getting surprises. You're going to get elite wide receiver, elite running back.
Do you see who went at pick number 9? My favorite running back.
Oh my gosh.
Kenyon Drake went number 9. So I had Derrick Henry at 7, Devonta Adams went 8, and Kenyon Drake at 9.
They've been listening to you. You thought you could snag him in the second, probably.
Oh, yeah. I thought for sure I could take him with my 14th overall pick here in round 2. But, wow. Who's that? Team McLaughlin.
Yeah, you're going to get thrown these curveballs. So, JP, how are you going to rebound?
Well, I'm still looking at running back here, but we still have the big receivers on the board with Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill. If Julio Jones is there, then I might be tempted to take him there, but I think I will look in the direction of Josh Jacobs, Austin Ekeler, maybe Joe Mixon too. But yeah, I'll see if even Julio Jones even falls to me if I even have that decision.
Julio was just taken.
Oh, yeah, there he goes. Yeah, so this is, I don't know if we mentioned, it's a 10-team mock draft. So Julio Jones went 10th, or DeAndre Hopkins went 10th, which rounds out the first round, and Julio Jones was the first pick in the second round here.
All right,
and next
Tyreek Hill, and now I still got a while. You're gonna be the next one up on the clock. So you
Yeah.
said you're thinking about running back?
Yes, I think that I am going to go. It's between Eckler, Jacobs, and Mixon, but I think I have Jacobs the highest, which actually, of course, as I say that, Jacobs goes next off the board. But I am on the clock now, and there is Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, and Joe Mixon, as well as Nick Chubb on the clock here. I mean, on available here. And if you guys haven't already listened to us in the past, you'll know I'm not a big fan of Nick Chubb or Aaron Jones for this season. They're still strong back in RB1s, but I prefer Joe Mixon and Austin Eckler. And since it is full PPR, I am going to go with Austin Eckler here. And I know you really like him, so I'm sure that is a little disappointing to you, but I don't even know if he would have even fell to you at the 19th overall spot there.
Yeah, and I'm thinking now priming my number one wide receiver so I can get a wide receiver with my running back. And maybe if Eckler fell, that maybe I'd be tempted, but I think I'd still pass him up even if he fell to me.
Gotcha. Okay, well, right after me went Aaron Jones at pick
Chris
205 and Chris Godwin at 206 here. And you got two picks before you, and you got Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, DJ Moore, who you know I like on the board. I know you're not quite as high on him. And
Yeah,
Allen Robinson. I mean, we'll see who's up when you get there, but there are still some good running backs there with Joe Mixon, Fournette, and even Travis Kelce if you wanted to go that option.
I'm surprised Travis Kelce's put so high for ESPN. I guess it makes sense for a high target tight end. All right, so I'm
Well,
thinking wide receiver. I got a minute. I think
well,
uh,
first off, you got Chubb and Mixon just went right before you, so yeah, I mean, you got your choice of receivers here.
I got Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay. Probably not going Kenny Golladay. Injury, just not injury. Wow, I keep mixing up his running back and the receiver. Yeah, DJ Moore and Adam Thielen. Isn't I probably would normally go Mike Evans, but I think right now I'm feeling Kenny Golladay, so I want Kenny Golladay. I I always mix him up with his injury-prone running back, but
Kerryon Johnson, yeah.
Aaron Johnson. This starts with a K. What can you do? And
Right.
but I've always liked Kenny Golladay. Now that I'm separating in my mind and what we've done with looking into him.
Wow. Oh, wow. Actually, Travis Kelce and Fournette went right after you, and you're back on the clock since you're on the turn. And Mike Evans is still there for the taking if you want it too. So if
Yeah,
you want to
that's
go wide
true.
receiver again, you lucked out there.
If I want to go wide receiver, or I could go running back because I feel like the wide receiver class is deeper. Um, but what running back would be good to start from here? You got
You got Miles Sanders, Clyde
uh,
Edwards-Helaire.
yeah. I gotta think about vocalizing these things. Miles Sanders, yeah. Clyde, Todd Gurley, David Johnson. I'm going Miles Sanders. I'm a big fan, and he's not really
Yeah,
competed with in the Eagles backfield.
yeah, he's ranked a little low. And actually, so I thought that the Eagles might add another running back. They still haven't. It sounds like they're still looking. But Carlos Hyde, he signed with the Seahawks, so we already know he's not going to be a threat to Miles Sanders. He's in Seattle. And the only other notable option out there, veteran running back wise, that could compete with Sanders that would worry me would be Devonta Freeman. He's on the decline of his career, but since he has that pass catching and just overall ability on the field with, like I said, with his pass catching ability and being solid on the ground, he could take snaps from Miles Sanders. But like I said, he's not signed yet, and there's reports that he might sit out the season, which why would you do that? I mean, you're not Le'Veon Bell or Melvin Gordon. You're a dude on, the downward spiral of your career, and you're threatening to sit out the season. He needs to get a new agent, I think. But, yeah, so Miles Sanders, right, now he's still pretty much the lone dog there with Boston Scott, taking snaps as well, but not nearly as much as what other guys would do. And after Miles Sanders here, we had Mike Evans at 303, DJ Moore 304, dang it, and George Kittle at 305. And there's one more pick before I am on the clock here.
And what are you thinking now? You have a running back and a wide receiver. You're going running back.
No, I got two running backs.
No, you got two. Man, I'm sorry, messed up your who I've been looking at for you. Two running
Yeah, I
backs.
got Derrick Henry and Austin Ekeler here, and there's 20 seconds on the clock here. I would be looking at Thielen, Robinson, Juju, and Cooper. I'm going to pull up the position for all the rest of the receivers. And Allen Robinson went, unfortunately. He was one that I'm pretty high on. But it's got to be between Thielen, Juju, and Amari Cooper. And I'm not a big fan of the inconsistency of Amari Cooper, although I think he has a chance at bouncing back from that. But I think I'm going to go with Adam Thielen because I believe in that system with Gary Kubiak. I think he's going to get a pretty large amount of targets as being the, for sure, number one receiver there with Stefon Diggs gone. And even though he was injured last season, before he got injured, he was still performing very well. So I believe he has a good shot at being a top 12 receiver this year.
Yeah, and you can see that Juju went, Clyde Edwards. Oh, this is going fast. Amari and Lamar. Oh, there you go. That's the Lamar
Yep.
pick. First QB off the board.
Right,
Actually, round 4, first pick. That's actually a little later than I thought he would go off. Probably for a 12 person. Well, this is 10.
Yeah, maybe a bit late than I would expect, but yeah, I still personally don't like taking quarterbacks early. And look, there you go, Patrick Mahomes taken right after.
Scared, yeah.
Right, you got pick 401, Lamar Jackson, pick 402, Patrick Mahomes, and now David Johnson is off the board, which I would have liked to have David Johnson, unfortunately. But now I am on the clock. Got Cortland Sutton as at the top of the board here, Todd Gurley, Chris Carson, and Le'Veon Bell, and those are probably the guys I'm looking at right now. There's some receivers later that I prefer, but I don't think I need to look in the direction quite yet. Since, like I said before, since wide receiver is so much deeper, I think I will go running back here, actually. And I have Todd Gurley and Chris Carson ranked back-to-back. And, okay, so I have Derrick Henry and Austin Ekeler. I can think about the philosophy I want. I think those two guys are solid, so I think I'll take a little bit more of a risk here with Todd Gurley. Like I said, I think he's a little bit riskier, but I think his ceiling is really high. I think Chris Carson, he's just a steady, strong, high-end RB2 because he's going to get the volume, but he doesn't get quite the passing work as some of these other running backs. And I think Todd Gurley will get more passing down work. So that's the reason I go with him. Like I said, the upside I just believe is higher in that Atlanta offense.
Yeah. I think that's a solid pick. And now we have the next one up. And you said that you'd be going wide receiver later, going with another running back. And I'm actually going to stick with it this time for getting my just 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers. Keep it strong. Well, and there goes the wide receiver I was thinking of getting right there. Robert Woods, who's better than Cooper Kupp. And now I'm probably going to be deciding between Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley. To be honest, Cooper Kupp maybe, A.J. Brown. I'm not looking at Sutton. I don't think he'll get that much work. I'm not looking at Keenan. He's just going to have a decline. Odell, I don't like. You see you were high on Odell. I just think Tyler Lockett or Calvin Ridley would probably get more than Odell with work and having the connection more between Russell and Tyler. I can't deny it. But I know Tyler's a little more risky. So.
But you do like A.J. Brown a lot, right?
I do like A.J. Brown.
But he might come back to you.
Yeah, I think he's going to be falling. So I think with that and what I have in mind, I'm actually going to go with Calvin Ridley. Believing that
I like the pick.
Matt Ryan philosophy, and I think he has that, keeps striding up to being a strong wide receiver too.
Yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. Like we've mentioned in our wide receiver rankings episode, we both had him close to our top 15 because we just believe that with Mohamed Sanu and Austin Hooper gone, there's going to be more targets for Calvin Ridley. Also with Matt Ryan, we think he's going to have a better season, and that's just going to help Calvin Ridley even more.
Yeah.
And there goes Chris Carson, which actually that's kind of late for him at 4:10. and Tyler Lockett at 5:01, and you're back on the clock.
All right, so I'm going to now go back to running back because I just want to build that depth as early as I can. I have Devin Singletary, Raheem Mostert. Probably, maybe I'm deciding with. See, there's an interesting thing is what about David Montgomery? Didn't really get that much competition, but do I believe in him?
Right. You have 15 seconds, just let
Yeah,
you know.
I got it. I gotta go with my man. I know he has a competing running back, but I'll go with Devin Singletary. I just believe they're gonna use. Oh, don't do that. They're gonna use him.
Yeah, I think he was the best option available if you were going to go running back, and that's why I liked how my draft is shaken up, going with 3 running backs in the first 4 rounds, because since I got Todd Gurley locked in as my RB3 at the flex position, I don't have to, really think about these later running backs. Which I mean, there's still some solid running backs, James Conner, Raheem Mostert, but these guys are they have more risk involved, and I still like the receivers that are here. If I go ahead and look over here, we still got Cortland Sutton, Keenan Allen, T.Y. Hilton, Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, A.J. Brown. I mean, I would be happy to have any of these guys in my wide receiver too. And right now, the way it's looking, I would have Cooper Kupp at the top of my board. And after Singletary here, we just saw Cortland Sutton go off. So I think I would have the pick would be Cooper Kupp for me if he falls to me, which he was just taken, pick 504. Good pick, Team Collins there. I mean, that's a good spot to get him. Keenan Allen just went. Man, okay. So now it's looking like T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Brown, and DJ Chark, which, if you guys know, listen to our last episode, I really like DJ Chark. I think he is ranked much too low. I mean, he's here at overall player number 50, and he is my choice that I'm going to go with here. And it's nice because I can just scoop him up in the 5th round, and honestly, I think he belongs at the end of the 3rd round, early 4th.
Yeah.
So I am very happy with that selection for him as my wide receiver too.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? I think that Chark, like you said, end of 3rd. I was actually surprised that I didn't see him around the Calvin Ridley area when I was choosing. I probably still want
That's where
to
he
take
belongs.
him. Yeah, I believe in Ridley more a little bit, but they're still both amazing wide receivers.
Yeah,
And
I think I had them ranked very closely anyways.
yeah, and now you're gonna be next up on the clock again. We seem to be double going.
Right,
So
yeah, I'm going to read the picks that went off here. We have Raheem Mostert after my pick of DJ Chark, Devontae Parker, and to round out the 5th round, we have Zach Ertz. Then we got James Conner and 2 more picks before I am back on the clock. And we saw A.J. Brown go off, pick 602. That's a pretty good value right there. I just don't have him as high as I do have someone like a DJ Chark.
Yeah.
But let's see. I mean, I already have my 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and we still got on the clock T.Y. Hilton, or on the clock, I mean available. I keep saying on the clock. T.Y. Hilton, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Stefon Diggs. Well, McLaurin just went, but I'm on the clock. I'm going to take a quick look-sees here at the running back. I'm not yet looking at the quarterback position, but we got Kareem Hunt, Mark Ingram. Okay, I do like Kareem Hunt, but I do think I'm going to scoop up another strong wide receiver here. And this is going to be my first pick for a player that won't be in my starting roster, but I really like to have depth because injuries happen all the time. You have bye weeks, and then you also have matchups. So I have DJ Chark. Maybe he's got a really tough matchup, and maybe Stefon Diggs has a really strong matchup. Then I might switch them out for that reason. But I think Stefon Diggs is where I'm leaning here, and to have him as my wide receiver 3, I am very happy with that. But I was also, I really like Deebo Samuel and T.Y. Hilton too.
Yeah. And now I'll be soon up on the clock, and I have 2 wide receivers with Kenny Golladay and Calvin Ridley. I have 3 running backs right now. I'm actually go with another running back because I want that running back depth. That's something I value highly. And then probably with my following pick, I'll probably go with another wide receiver. So right now I'm looking
Yeah,
at running backs, and I'm not thinking Mark Ingram. Just I'm unsure about how the offense is going to be. Kareem Hunt, amazing talent, but splits. Um, I think you're not going to get into too many by themselves running backs, of course, right here, but who could shine where they're at. And to be honest, I'm probably right now debating between David Montgomery and Jonathan Taylor. Um, David Montgomery, I mean, he's this guy that's dropping this low because we don't know how he's going to be, but still has the potential to get all the carries. And then Jonathan Taylor, he's been rising, and I think he's
its upside is
now
really
I think
high.
he has a great upside, and it's really going to be difficult. Well, there goes Jonathan
Disappointing.
Taylor. So I wonder who I'm going to pick. I'm actually going to go with David Montgomery. I was maybe thinking Derrius Guice too, but maybe a little
I
less
mean, I like the pick.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the 6th round, you have a running back who is going to get guaranteed volume, and he has the chance to improve on the season he had last year. He wasn't really utilized quite as much, but I think Matt Nagy's going to want to get Montgomery more involved. I mean, the big selling point on him last year was that unlike Jordan Howard, he had the ability to catch the ball and run the ball. So, I mean, he is a good solid pick in the 6th round.
Yeah, I'm back up on the clock. I'm going wide receiver. There's T.Y. Deebo still on the board.
Wow.
Julian, uh, I don't really need to look that much farther. I think Deebo's going to have a good year. He's going to go up, and so I'm going to go Deebo. I was also looking maybe at Marvin Jones. He's a great second wide receiver too on that team. But yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't be totally opposed to that. You go on Marvin Jones, but since you have Kenny Golladay, it might turn me away just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have been looking a lot more at Deebo Samuel lately, and I think he's going to be moving up my rankings because when he did start getting starting snaps with the 49ers, he was actually really good. He had a strong end to the season, and he is used a lot in the screen game because when you see him, he's just so good after the catch. He looks like a man out there amongst boys, kind of like A.J. Brown, honestly. But also, Deebo Samuel does get involved in the running game a little bit, so that gives a little bit more to your production there, even if he's a receiver. So that's really nice and it's unique from somebody. So honestly, he probably belongs as towards the back end of a top 25 receiver in fantasy. Honestly,
Yeah. And all right. So now we have T.Y. Hilton off the board, and finally, round 7, third pick. That's kind of crazy.
it's a good pick.
Yeah, but I think great value. And now my goal or game plan, I think, is I want to build up maybe two more bench, a running back and wide receiver, and maybe dip at tight end. But if great tight ends are there, I might get one more.
All right, so I am up on the clock here, and I'm looking at the running backs, and there's a few. There's not any particular one that stands out to me. So I think since I don't have a long wait for my next turn, I think I'm going to go wide receiver here and then wait to get the running back with my next pick. But I have Chark, Thielen, and Diggs.
That's great. Stefon Diggs could easily be a wide receiver too.
Right. He could be a top 20 receiver. But I'm looking here at Edelman and other Boyd and Michael Gallup. I really do like Michael Gallup, but Edelman, he's just going to get that guaranteed volume. Even though Tom Brady is not there, I still think Jarrett Stidham is going to target Julian Edelman a lot. And he's just the alpha number 1 target on that team. I mean, that's my opinion. And I think in PPR especially, he's probably going to be like a wide receiver 3, like a top 36 receiver, maybe even higher. He finished top 5 last year. And I know Tom Brady's gone, but he still could finish as a top 20 receiver just based on the volume that he receives.
That's true.
I'm gonna talk about a few of the picks that went here. So Mark Ingram, he went late. Michael Jordan of fantasy here took him, and okay, so Kareem Hunt I talked about. We talked about in one of our running back rankings episodes, and yeah, I think Kareem Hunt he has the chance to split 50-50 with Nick Chubb, and if Nick Chubb were to go down, he would be a strong wide receiver one. But we also have DK Metcalf, who is on the rise. Marvin Jones, who you talked about, T.Y. Hilton. These guys, Marvin Jones is always underrated every single year, and he
Yeah.
usually produces a lot of touchdowns. But A.J. Green, he's got a lot of upside here. Of course, there's risk, but
I
like I
also
said, the
got to
upside is
mention
huge.
really fast before you go is that we seem to have a first auto pick, which is Team Montero. He took DeAndre Swift and Ronald Jones right after each other, and I'm pretty sure he was on auto pick there. Yeah.
Man, yeah. So right before those two guys, Jordan Howard, DeAndre Swift, and Ronald Jones went. Those were a couple of the guys I kind of liked to have at my running back four. But here, I am looking for a guy that has upside because this is not somebody I'm planning on starting. It might be some depth. I already got kind of the depth
Let's
with
do
Todd
it.
Gurley. So right here, I'm going to look for somebody who has upside. And the one guy I have my eye on is Keyshawn Vaughn. And he is who I'm going to take. And it's
Yeah.
because Ronald Jones, I don't believe he's a fantastic pass catcher. And Bruce Arians, he wants a guy at the running back position who can catch passes. So he has a chance to take over the starter and be a breakout candidate this year.
Yeah, I was eyeing him the whole time. I wasn't going to say anything. I believe that he's going to be probably the next James White for Tom Brady, and I think he's probably going to get the majority of the carries towards the end of the year as well. I think
Yeah,
he's
I think he has the potential to be even better and a bigger role than James White. But I think James White is a pretty good comp there.
yeah. And now my next pick, if you couldn't guess right there, is going to be another running back. Um, See, it's hard. I
So what
could
does your roster look like right now?
I have Saquon, Miles Sanders, and Montgomery, and Devin Singletary. Um,
So you have
so
four
I could
running
still go
backs.
another running back. Gonna pick. Uh, I could go Kerryon Johnson. He's got. He's very injury prone. That's the issue. But he is gonna get the majority of those carries if he stays healthy.
You have two guys here with Henderson and Johnson who both have rookies coming in, and it's like, okay, who do you believe is going to have a bigger role between the two?
I mean, if Johnson stayed healthy, it'd be interesting.
I
Actually,
think Johnson would be more involved if he was healthy.
then I could go Derrius Guice though too. Uh, I'm going Derrius Guice. If he stays healthy, he's gonna get a lot more carries, I think, than Johnson would if he was healthy. I think they would really like DeAndre Swift, and if Guice was the future running back pick that they wanted for the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, right here is where you want to look for guys with upside because, in the eighth, I think it's eighth round here. Yeah, but these are just guys that you're not going to be starting off the bat, and these are players that could win you the league if they break out. So you want to choose somebody with the upside to be a RB1, RB2 to really make your team excel for far into the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, I'm back up on the clock.
Look who went there,
Look who went, Tom Brady. Wow, it's good to see that he's picked a little higher.
right? We've had a few quarterbacks go up before him too.
Yeah. I already know what wide receiver I'm gonna pick here. I think it might come as a little bit of a surprise, but I'm going with Jamison Crowder because if there's one person that did thrive out of Gase's system, somehow it was him. And it wasn't long yardages, it wasn't touchdowns. He would just get like 15 throws a game. He was like the only one. I mean, they got Mims, but Jamison Crowder is still going to be that slot guy that uh, Sam is going to rely on.
Yeah, he is going to be a value in drafts this year. I mean, when you get a player that's the number one receiver on a team this late, and especially in PPR, because that's the thing. He catches a lot of passes. I mean, that's a good, strong value, and I guess he's your wide receiver 4 there. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. He's a nice, safe, steady receiver for you to have there. I said a lot of S's, alliteration.
Safe, steady receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to read a few of these picks I wanted. So we actually had Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, as well as Deshaun Watson, go off right before your first pick there, before Derrius Guice, then Will Fuller, Tom Brady, Jamison Crowder, Sterling Shepard. So if I'm going to go ahead and look what quarterbacks are available here. And we're in the 9th round at pick 904. And I didn't click the right thing. Okay, so top of the list here is Matt Ryan. And I really like Matt Ryan this year. So if he were to fall to me, I would strike. I would take him because I think he really could be a top 5 quarterback this year. And to take him here in the 9th round, which he fell to me. But there's also Josh Allen. Wow.
That is hard.
I think I have them ranked back to back.
Mm.
Man, I really like Matt Ryan, but so this is a tough decision for me. I tell you. But since Josh Allen does have that rushing floor, I think I am going to lean towards him. And I might have a nice little combo here with Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen. So I'm going to go Josh Allen. I think Matt Ryan's going to do a lot more through the air, but Josh Allen gets a lot more on the ground. And we know running quarterbacks are a lot more valuable in fantasy football. They're kind of like a cheat code. So I chose Josh Allen over Matt Ryan, although Matt Ryan's my favorite quarterback, and it kind of pained me a little bit.
I'm
But
actually. What
Huh?
did you say? Were you
Go
gonna
ahead.
say? Oh well, I was just gonna go move on. That I'm actually gonna go tight end before I go quarterback. I'm gonna value that skill position. Try to get something solid there because I think for a quarterback, I could get something solid next like 3 rounds. But thinking tight end, yeah, I'm still after you, but Rob Gronkowski, maybe.
Yeah,
No
I'm
one's
gonna. So
there.
we use Rob Gronkowski, Hunter Henry,
Yeah.
Jared Cook, and Noah Fant. Those are the top 4 guys we're looking at right now.
But I'm also
But
looking down at Hayden Hurst, who's not going to really compete for volume there in Atlanta.
yeah, since you got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and that's it. He'll probably be the number 3 option there,
Yeah.
stepping into most of Austin Hooper's vacant targets. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna punt at the tight end position. Just gonna get a really late round guy myself. But yeah, those are the options that are available there. But after Josh Allen here, we had Kerryon Johnson, Sonny Michel, and to round out round 9, we have Darrell Henderson. Kerryon Johnson, Sonny Michel, Darrell Henderson. Those are all 3 guys who are probably strong values. To get them this late, that's good depth on your bench for sure. Also, Marlon Mack there, who I think at the beginning of the season, he's going to be very valuable. But I do ultimately think Jonathan Taylor will take over. And now we just saw Marquise Brown go off. And boy, I actually really like him as a late round pick because I think he has the potential to break out as a top 20 receiver. I think there's a good chance of it. I'm not going to say it's for sure, but I just think his upside is really high. I don't know if you guys have seen the reports, but he had like a screw in his foot and just got taken out. And he looked fast last year, and they're saying he looks even faster now. So with Lamar Jackson looking to pass more this season, Marquise Brown, he's a really good breakout target right there.
Yeah. All
I
right.
do like
You're
Hunter
on the
Henry, though.
clock, man.
Huh?
You're on the clock.
Yes, I am. And, I see 2 players here I really like. So at the wide receiver position, Brandon Cooks and Deontay Johnson here in the 10th round. Wow, I really like them both. But Brandon Cooks is the number 1 target, is what it appears to be for Deshaun Watson. So in the 10th round, I cannot pass that up. But Deontay Johnson, I really like him too, because I think he has the chance to produce similarly to Juju Smith, kind of like Antonio Brown and Juju Smith did, just a couple years ago. Not quite on that level, but I think they could be pretty close to that, honestly.
Yeah. And there's your QB that just went right off the board, Matt Ryan. Pick
Good
number
pick,
5,
good
round
pick.
10. Yeah. They must have been listening to you too. I don't see Matt Ryan really going up in these drafts just because of us, and that philosophy's out there. But he's still not really moving up because of that.
Right? He should. He should be higher.
All right, there goes Emmanuel Sanders, wide receiver 2 of the Saints now. And I'm liking that pick. Great value. Golden Tate, another great value pick. Probably would have chosen maybe a few of the wide receivers ahead of Tate and then Philip Lindsay. All right, so tight end. I'm going between Rob, maybe Jared Cook, maybe Hayden Hurst. I might go nostalgic right here, but will I be able to choose Rob Gronkowski again in a fantasy draft? Will I? So, and he might have great value. Who knows how he's going to do. I'm going Rob Gronkowski with my main tight end. Still a monster of a person. Just has to develop to a system.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably your riskiest pick there. But he could – I mean, all these tight ends here, they're a little, sketchy. But, yeah, he has a lot of upside with Brady reuniting with him there in Tampa Bay. And we see Drew Brees go. And see, I mean, in the late 10th round, you see Drew Brees and Matt Ryan in the middle of the 10th round go. So you see – you don't want to take a quarterback early because these guys are going to have great seasons, and you're getting them really late, and when instead you could have been getting, a strong wide receiver running back earlier.
Yeah. And now I'm going QB. I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers is still on the board. Matthew Stafford. Ben Roethlisberger.
Right before you went Deontay Johnson, I'd like to say, because, that's a really good pick.
I don't think he's going to get injured again. I'm just going to click it. Not even say it. Ben Roethlisberger. I had him higher than most people. Maybe could have gone Matthew Stafford. But I always believe that Ben's could be chucking it to save his life sometimes. He's not going down. And he's a smart quarterback. He had a little bit of injury last year, but I think he's just going to be great again, have a high passing line.
Yeah, I probably would have gone Carson Wentz, but Ben Roethlisberger, we've seen him have huge seasons, and he probably would have been the second guy to take behind Wentz there. So I don't hate that pick.
Injury, I can't get around it. I mean, he made it through the whole regular season last year, but
it was his first time, I think.
Yeah, that was his first time. I don't know. He's amazing. If I was rating skill right now, I think Carson Wentz is more accurate than Rob Roethlisberger right now in the league. And I think he has a better upside if he's healthy, but I just don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, after Ben Roethlisberger here was Henry Ruggs taken and Jerry Jeudy, 2 rookies back to back there. And since my pick's coming up, I got to look at my team here. At quarterback, I got Josh Allen. Running back, I got Derrick Henry, Austin Ekeler, Todd Gurley, Keyshawn Vaughn, and those are all 4 that I have. At wide receiver, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Stefon Diggs, Julian Edelman, and Brandon Cooks are 5 of them there. So I guess I would be looking at running back since I got 4 of those. And let's see who's available. We've got Matt Breida, Latavius Murray, Boston Scott. Those are the guys. There's also Tevin Coleman, who actually has a chance to be the starter. I mean, you don't know with Kyle Shanahan. Sometimes Coleman might be the starter a few games over Mostert, although I think Mostert's the best pick there. But right before me here goes Matt Breida and Boston Scott. So that narrows down my selection here. And I am going to go with Latavius Murray, and that's mostly due to the fact that if Alvin Kamara gets injured, we saw last year Latavius Murray was an RB1. He was a top 12 running back when Alvin Kamara went down. So he's not my handcuff, but I'm taking someone's handcuff, and I think he's one of the best ones out there. And he also does get involved too, because we saw when Mark Ingram was there too, Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram they're both involved. So Latavius Murray, he could have as many carries as Alvin Kamara, but he's not going to get the passing work Alvin Kamara will.
Yeah.
I also could have looked at Alexander Mattison there because if Dalvin Cook were to go down, same position, same story.
I was just about to – I'm looking right – I was staring right at him when you said that. I was thinking of who I could pull as a handcuff that's not mine but someone else's. So if you don't get running back next, please let me get Alexander Mattison.
I think I will allow it.
You'll allow it?
I
I
think
don't
I
think
will. I
anyone
think I'm
else
going to
is
look
doing it.
back. Huh? Oh,
I don't
somebody
think-
else could do it.
Yeah.
But, okay, so after Latavius Murray went Preston Williams, Darius Slayton, Hunter Henry, which I think Hunter Henry in the 11th round there was good because we saw with Tyrod Taylor, he made Charles Clay fantasy relevant. So then after that was John Brown, Damian Williams, and Noah Fant. And, yeah, I think I'm going to take one more receiver before the draft ends. I think I'm going to take him here. I'm just going to look at another upside guy. And the one that pops off the page here for me is N'Keal Harry. Yeah, I just think his upside is high. He's a first-round pick. And I don't know how Jarrett Stidham's going to do, but if he has a better season than we expect, N'Keal Harry could have a pretty good year. So I'm just going to take the flyer there on N'Keal Harry.
Yeah. I agree. Good pick. Good pick, JV.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thought you were gonna say someone else. That's why I'm saying good pick. Can you think of who I'm thinking of?
At receiver,
Yeah. Not picking him at my first pick. I'm trying to get him at pick 122.
CeeDee Lamb,
Yep.
Mecole Hardman, Michael Pittman.
Yes. Uh-huh. If I waited, you say why pick 122? I have a while. And then after pick 122, where I think people could be looking at those rookies then. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
that's fair.
yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna go running back with my first 119. And if it isn't clear by now, Alexander Mattison, if he's not off the board, I'm probably going to be going with him. If
yeah,
he
you're
is
to get
off
your
the board,
quarterback.
maybe Tim and Coleman. But I think Alexander Mattison has more upside if he gets to play. And maybe Justin Jackson, too. I don't see Ekeler going down. He's a tough guy, but you never know.
Yeah, and so I'm going to go ahead and say after N'Keal Harry, we got Deshaun Watson, Jared Cook, Matthew Stafford, and then
Deshaun
one more pick.
Jackson.
What was that?
Deshaun Jackson.
What did I say?
Watson.
Watson? What am I doing? I don't remember that. Deshaun Jackson. Okay, and then right before you went Mike Gesicki, and that's a good pick right there. And you went ahead and took Alexander Mattison there. And honestly, man, I didn't even see Michael Pittman down there. It's probably a
I
good thing
know.
because
I
you might
thought
have been mad at me.
I was. I like he didn't see him. He would have I feel like he would have taken him if he saw him. But
Yeah, he's like really low.
this is the easiest pick I'm ever going to do. Right there. Michael Pittman. Oh, we got defenses around him?
Yeah, it's we're towards the very end of the draft. That auto drafter now took two defenses.
I'm gonna tell you that
Or was it an auto drafter?
Michael
I don't even know
Pittman's
actually.
gonna be here at the end of the year. I'm highlighting my Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 2. No, he probably won't be there, but I'm just having fun gambling.
No, I mean that's a really good pick right there. I mean, he's gonna likely be the number 2 option to Phillip Rivers, and yeah, I mean, gosh, that's really strong. He could have been a top 5 receiver taken in this draft, even how deep it was. Oh, now we got after Pittman was J.K. Dobbins, which I like him a lot more in Dynasty, of course, but he still is a good little flyer pick there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is the part of the draft where it's you just taking players you hope have the chance. Actually, since I have one more spot on my bench, what I'm going to do with that last spot on my bench is I'm going to take somebody who I can figure out by week 1, right? I'm not going to take someone I'm going to just hold on to because, you pick up and drop players all the time. You need somebody that you can drop, if they don't pan out. So somebody in like a new situation, I'm going to go ahead and look at the running backs here. So you got somebody like Justin Jackson, right? If week 1 he's not involved and Austin Eckler's got all the carries, you can go ahead and drop him. Somebody like that I want to take that I will know by week 1. But I think right before I do that, I'm going to take my tight end. And I'm on the clock here after Michael Pittman went Dobbins, Tony Pollard, Carson Wentz, and CeeDee Lamb. Those are all good picks there, especially Tony Pollard if Zeke were to go down. But we got T.J. Hawkinson, Austin Hooper, Chris Herndon, Hayden Hurst and Jack Doyle. I like Doyle and Hayden Hurst, but I'm going to go with Hayden Hurst.
Good pick. You got
Thank
him.
you. Yeah, I think he's
Really
going to
good
be the
value. Yeah.
Yeah, I think him and Doyle will both be the number 3 targets on their team, but Hayden Hurst is in a better offense overall with the Falcons. And actually, Jack Doyle, he could be the number 4 option if Nyheim Hines is involved a lot. Because there's been reports that supposedly Frank Reich, I don't know what he's thinking, but he said Nyheim Hines could be a 3-down back. It's like, yeah, I get it. He's a great receiving back, but on the ground, not so much. But after Hayden Hurst here went Brashad Perriman, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Rodgers, Robbie Anderson, and Justin Jefferson. And I got one more pick before Daniel Jones now, and I am back on the clock. I need a defense, a kicker, and my last bench spot. I'm going to take defense and kicker last.
Same.
So, I might look at somebody like Mecole Hardman. Because Mecole Hardman and Sammy Watkins are here ranked back-to-back. And if some reason, if Mecole Hardman was a wide receiver 2 there, he could have a great year. But I'm going to look at tight end real quick again. If I'm looking at upside here at tight end, I got a late round tight end. I'm thinking I might take Blake Jarwin because he is now the starting tight end on the Cowboys, and he might be more involved than we know, and that's a really high scoring offense right there, high flying, and I think I'll figure him out by week 1, so I can drop him if he's not involved week 1. I can just pick up, because week 1 there's always people that you want to pick up after that first week. So, like I said, if Blake Jarwin is not involved, I'll just drop him and pick up somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm actually going to go wide receiver again because I'm loving this rookie class and a deep wide receiver that I think could be very prosperous with what he could be given is Brandon Aiyuk. I want to get him as my depth to maybe also be behind Deebo Samuel. Hope nothing happens to him, but if something does, Brandon Aiyuk again. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a really strong last pick. It's looking like he's gonna be the wide receiver 2 there, but of course he'll be the number 3 behind George Kittle. But he does have a lot of upside there. We saw Deebo and Emmanuel Sanders both had they were both pretty productive there. But yeah, Emmanuel Sanders was there. Where did he get traded from? The Broncos halfway through the season to the 49ers. Yeah. And they both did pretty solid there together. So, I mean, that's a good pick. Aiyuk could have a better rookie season than we project.
And I don't know if it's any consolation, but going now between kicker and defense, I'd probably go more towards defense. Get a good amount of points by any defense if they pop off. They can give you 20 points.
Yeah. I haven't looked yet, but when I look at what defenses to draft, I always look at the first 3-4 weeks of people's schedule, and I just draft defenses based off that because I stream my defense, but I want to draft a defense that's going to have a strong schedule at the beginning of the year so that I can right off the bat get good points from them, and if their schedule gets tougher, then I'll just drop them and pick up a different defense. And you got the 49ers, which is a good defense.
That is crazy. They're a great defense. Their schedule, I think, is middle of the pack. I need to look at their schedule too. But, I mean, I think that defense against anyone is going to give them a rough time.
Right. Well, like I said, I have not looked yet at the strength of defenses here to begin the season, but if I'm just looking based off how good the defenses are right now, well, here goes the Patriots. Here's a good, strong defense right there. The Ravens are next top of the board. They probably won't be there for me. I like the Colts, Broncos. Right now, I'm not too concerned in the mock draft about who my defense is. But I would like to have there goes Harrison Butker and the Ravens defense. So I'm going to choose between the Broncos and Colts here, whichever one. Oh, well, I got my choice because Will Lutz was drafted. And I'm going to go with the Colts. I think they're an underrated defense, and I think they're going to have a good, strong defense this year.
Yeah, and also I want to bring up something about the Patriots defense. You might be tempted, like, thinking it's like a top 3-4 defense, but strength of schedule puts the Patriots dead last. And you could see, I can admit that maybe the Patriots don't versus the strongest teams at time, and seeing how the strongest teams could do. I believe in Stefon Gilmore. I think he's going to be amazing. And the whole defense is going to be amazing. They're going to limit an offense to even a good one, I think, below 30. But I think they're prone to slip-ups, I think. And once they're down, they're down. They don't usually get back right away, which you could see against the Dolphins, unfortunately, last year. So I think I would drop them a little bit to like 6th defense, just because of the strength of schedule as well as consistency.
That's fair. I think strength of schedule it's really important for quarterbacks and defenses. The other positions, it does matter, but I don't think it matters quite as much as those positions. But here, kicker, if I'm looking just based off offense, I got Robbie Gould in the 49ers, Pittsburgh, Chris Boswell, Tampa Bay, Matt Gay. That rhymes. And I'm going to go with Matt Gay because you got Tom Brady in town now. I think it's going to be a high-scoring offense. I also could have looked at Zane Gonzalez of the Cardinals because I think that's also going to be a very strong offense this season with DeAndre Hopkins there, Kyler Murray in year 2.
Yeah. I'm looking at the kickers again. Probably Zane Gonzalez, and I'm also thinking Younghoe Koo for the Falcons. Could have a strong offense.
Zane Gonzalez just went, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. So I guess I'm going Mason. No, I'm going Younghoe Koo. That's mine. And that, after Ballers picks Chris Boswell as the first mock draft, which have a little few rough spots, but it tells us where our direction is heading with our teams.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us here. That wraps up the mock draft. If you liked the video, give it a like, give us a comment on our videos, and we might feature your questions in future videos and answer the questions, discuss them between us two. So, yeah, do that. And thank you all for joining us. See you next time.
Yep. Thank you.